Well, I am an admirer of Elisa's. Elisa has even worked for me, and the fact is that she is talented.
What's it called? Kermit and Friends?
Kermit and Friends.
Kermit. But if
Kermit,
you're saying
like
not
the
to
frog?
do,
Yeah,
wait.
I actually have watched a few hours of the Kermit and Friends.
How many hours have you watched, Natalie?
Oh, no. Probably indulged in 8 hours.
Holy.
My wife and I watched Benji's ex-girlfriends or whatever's going on. We watched this crazy podcast, and I have to say, this is one of the probably in the top 5 things I think about right now.
She has a podcast, but she gets to come on the radio. It is craziness upon craziness.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Kermit and Friends. I'm Elisa. This is Fozzie, and Kermit is watching from heaven. We have a great show for you today. You're going to love this show. It is so exciting. We have contests going on. We have positions that are waiting to be filled, and I'm ready for it. I mean, I don't know. It's just very exciting. We have, of course, our wrap-up show after this show that goes on what happens here. We're interviewing 2 great people today, 2 broadcasters, which is always fun. I'm going to tell you a little bit about them, but first, let's welcome Wheezy.
Hello.
Welcome to Kermit and Friends. You are my co-host. How's it going?
Great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so happy that you have a position open on your wrap-up show.
Yes.
Your co-host, Charmin, needs she needs a co-host, right?
Yes, absolutely. We do so much that we need more hands on deck, and she's just overwhelmed with all of her duties, so we definitely need somebody to help her.
And what kind of person would be a good person? Because, they have to watch this whole show and then they have to go to that show. There's a lot on their plate, and they have just a lot of responsibilities. They have to be nice. They have to be patient. What else?
Yes.
What other qualities do you think?
They have to be mischievous and smart and sneaky, because we need them for covert operations as well. So everything that a co-host would bring and more. And so we've had a lot of interviews, as you know, and it's overwhelming how many people are actually interested in it.
Wow. So how many people submitted an application for the position?
Well, this is the thing. In true Kermitarian form, about half of the people finished. The other half only finished the first half of the application, and they didn't follow through. But I've sent many emails to try to encourage them to finish the rest of it. But I think there was a couple questions on that second application that might have scared them away.
But it was such a short application. How could they only get through half? It was so short. There wasn't much to it.
It's pretty unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there were 2 questions. I mean, I'm looking at it, and it's just basically, do you want to be a co-host, and what position do you want?
Right.
What was the part that they didn't finish?
Well, there was a second half of the application, and it was basically asking, will you dance? And a lot of people didn't want to dance.
Oh, really?
Will you be part of all of our discords, which people agreed to? And then another one
Okay.
that people didn't really want was, will you spy on some discords for us, which is very important, as you know.
So they didn't want to be a spy. They didn't want to. That's so weird.
I know, you'd think with all the rascals in our community, they would love to be a spy.
Yeah, people are just being lazy with the form, obviously. We have Julia here. I'm going to be appearing on Julia's show on Tuesday
Yay.
because I agreed to be set up on a date.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, live on her show. So we'll be doing that on Tuesday. So it's very exciting. We'll see how it goes. So do you know anything about the guests today? Have you heard anything about them yet?
No, I'm actually in the dark about it. I have no idea.
Okay, so I'm going to read you a little bit about who they are. Let's see who they are. Okay, so we have our first guest is Alan Gunnar Lindblom, who is a novelist, and he wrote a bunch of novels to be a king. He's raised around the Detroit Mafia, and he was destined for a life of crime. He went to jail for 13.3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
That sounds
hopefully,
exciting.
yeah, so hopefully he'll enjoy, being on the show today. I mean, it's got to be better than prison, right?
For sure. Absolutely. I mean, I've never been in prison, but I can only imagine.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that he'll enjoy. And then our second guest, who's right up after him, named Hurricane Mike Heron. He is a podcaster. He has his own radio station. So he's very involved in podcasting. So we're going to talk to him after that. And hopefully these guys will be down to, be involved in our community and our wrap-up shows and our Kermit and Friends.
Right.
And so we have some interesting people here today.
That's exciting. I'm very excited.
Yeah. And if anybody is interested in being Wheezy's co-host, please let me know. Who do you want it to be? Is there anybody that you want it to be?
Secretly there is somebody that I want it to be, but I don't want to really taint it too much.
Okay.
There is that new guy Geo, but I know that you've sent him on a side mission, and since then I have not heard of him. I have not heard from him.
Horrible side mission. I sent him into enemy territory and he never came back alive.
Oh no. Yeah, that could explain why he didn't get back to me.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed Frank didn't want to be part of it because I think he'd be a great co-host to Charmin, but yeah, I'm going to keep mine secret just for now, just in case he wins. Or I mean,
okay, so
she wins.
Right. Somebody has to win because Charmin needs a co-host on your show, obviously, and she needs an assistant. You needed a barber, and there was a couple other positions that were open.
Right.
So let's please fill those positions. ASAP, we need help, right? We can't do this on our own. We're building a Reddit now, a subreddit. It was your idea, and that's hard. Frog, you're a little blurry right now. We got a new frog.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got this new frog. So, don't fuck with us because we'll just replace you.
It looks exactly the same. I had no idea it was a new one.
Yeah, this is a brand new replacement frog. So
it's very handsome.
The prior frog fucked with us majorly. So he's gone. New frog in, old frog out. You'll be hosting the wrap-up show. You'll go over everything that happens here. Obviously, thank you so much. Any other thoughts on the Kermitarian universe right now before I get to our first guest?
I can only imagine what you'll bring up later, but it has been a wild one. I mean, even within the last 24 hours, it has been so incredibly wild that I don't know what you'll bring up, but it's exciting.
Yeah, me neither.
I encourage anybody to sign in for our Discord. You can find it on Twitter. Our Discord's happening.
Yeah, our Discord's really popping right now, you guys. It's 24/7 drama. And I mean, people are flashing nude body parts on there. I adjusted the settings so you could if you want to flash us on there, that's fine. We're cool with it. Any form of expression is accepted in Kermit and Friends. That's the whole thing. Okay, Bob, you have the link. Because I email to you every week. I email everybody the link.
I'll take care of that for you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you. Okay, Weezy's going to take care of it for me. And let's just get to our first guest. Our first guest, like I said, this guy is a writer. He said that in his bio, he said there were 17 capital crimes ranging from bank robbery to extortion to armed robberies to kidnapping. So before I had somebody on the show that was kidnapped. So this is interesting. This is the other side of it. So, but since he's been released, somehow he became a published author. He started a clothing line. He has his own Detroit radio show. I go on Detroit radio all the time because I'm on the Drew and Mike show. So maybe he knows Drew and Mike. Let's welcome him to the show, Gunnar Allen Lindblom.
How you doing?
Hi, Gunnar. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm sitting here trying to figure out what discourse is. I mean, am I missing? Am I late to the party again, as usual, or what is discourse?
So it's called Discord. It's like a Discord server. So basically, it's like a Kermit and Friends fan club. Like I know you have a podcast and a radio show. So if you want your fans to connect in between when you're broadcasting, you could just send them there. And then they just go nuts in there, and they're just posting things. They're talking about you. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. How do I do that? I mean, I'm sure my fans would love that.
Yeah, they would. So we'll help you to set it up. So one good thing about being on Kermit and Friends is you're never alone again. So people will help you to create your Discord server. In fact, we had a guy named Dr. Steve on last week. Someone set him up with a Discord server, and now he's not even in it, and it's being run by itself. So that won't happen to you. You'll be instrumental in your own Discord server, but it's great. It's like Reddit, but it's a live chat. It's just wonderful.
Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. There's something you probably don't know. It's very unlike. By the way, here comes my cat. My cat, whenever I start talking, she thinks I'm distressed. She's a little foundling cat, and it was a stray cat. But whenever I start talking, every time I do a show, and I do them every day, she gets worried and comes over there and says hi. So I figured you'd appreciate that because you got your little dog there and stuff.
Oh yeah, I love animals. We love animals here.
You probably don't know anything about this, but there's something called it's almost goofy, MobTube, or are they calling it a MobTube War? It's all these little YouTube channels that kind of talk about the mafia and mob guys and history, and they're all beefed out, and they're all fighting with each other and arguing with each other, and they're all calling this guy a liar and this guy's that, and he's a rat and this and that, and it's become a big thing where now there's all these little channels that go. I don't get involved because I feel like that's below me. But anyways, my fans who support me always go on these other chats and anyone who's attacked me or said anything bad about me, and I think that Discord would be a great place because they can all get together and we hang out. Kind of, that sounds cool.
So that place where all the mob people are, is it a big community? Like how many people are on there?
I would say there's probably 20,000 or something like that. So it's a pretty big, it's a pretty big community. And in some ways it's even bigger. Like Sammy the Bull has 800,000 subscribers or whatever, something like that. Michael Francis, or actually Francis has 800. Sammy's got like 450. Then after that there's John A. Light's probably got 50,000, and then I got like 8,000, and then there's a bunch of little ones, that have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4,000, and they all kind of together. They're all at each other's throat all the time, arguing and fighting and defending the guy they love and bashing the guy they hate. I don't really get involved. I'm just too busy managing my life. I got a new novel coming out, a political thriller. I got plus my other novels to promote. I got a YouTube show, a radio show. I just don't have time to engage. But I think they would love that.
But as mobsters go, are you like on the lower end, or like do mobs? What does it take to have a lot of fans as a mobster?
Well, it's not. I'm no longer a mobster. First of all, I was. Let me give you a quick backstory, the quick version of it. I was born and raised in a mafia family, very powerful family, like almost like if you ever seen The Godfather. I'm assuming you've seen The Godfather. Mm-hmm. Well, have you seen The Godfather, the movie?
Yes.
Okay, so my family was very much like that. All right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but a real version of that in Detroit. So my uncle would be like Don Corleone. His first cousin was my grandfather, who kind of raised me. So I grew up in this environment where I was around big shot mafioso all my life. So it was almost normal to me my whole life. Because I'm half Sicilian on my mother's side, because I have my father's last name, Lindblom, but my mother's name is Tocco. The boss of the family for 40 years was Giacomo Tocco. And so because I was a Tocco to them, I did have rank and status, but because I was only half Sicilian, I could never be like a full made member, which is good because I don't think I want to be a full made member, because that means two things. One, I have to do what they say. And I'd been ordered to murder people before, and I said no. Now, if I was a made guy and I took an oath and swore my life to Cosa Nostra, then if I said no, I'd be killed. There'd be no questions. I'd just be killed. But because I wasn't made, I said, no, I'm not killing this guy. I know the guy. I like the guy. I'm not going to kill him. They're like, okay, well, they went and got somebody else to kill him. And
Oh
then
my goodness.
also I didn't have to give them money like I would have. I still did give them money. Whenever I hit a score or made some money or had a racket going, making money, I was always making a lot of money. I had to kick up some of that money to my uncle. And my uncle
Wait,
had to
wait,
kick
hold
up
on. I'm gonna wait. So how are you making money?
everything from selling drugs to extortion to, I mean, in the end, I did bank robberies, but mostly extortion and selling drugs. And I would extort drug dealers, pimps. I would extort guys who own the stripper companies, the escort services. A lot of drug dealers. If you were selling drugs on the east side of Detroit in my neck of the woods, you'd have to pay me. But that was my main racket. But the thing is, in Detroit, there's an enormous amount of sports betting going on, and the people I was around with a high level mafiosos we call layover bookies. They are the highest. So you got a guy who books bets, and then when he can't balance his book, he pushes the off balance 50,000 to the next guy, and he can't balance it, he pushes it to the next guy. So you get up to the top, and there's these guys that are balancing millions of dollars on a book, and it doesn't matter who wins the game because they get 10% juice. So they don't care who wins. They got to balance the book. So there's like maybe say 50, 60, 80 bookies all at the same time before every Sunday night football, whatever, and they're all balancing the book. Doesn't matter who wins because as long as they win, it's balanced, they get 10%. Problem was when people didn't want to pay, then you had to go send them a message. Most people paid; they weren't stupid. Jack Mickelson, the golfer, bet $750,000 on a game or something in Detroit, and then the boss said, "Nah, I ain't paying you." Got him for $750,000. So
Wow.
he's saying, but that's just. But really, what happens if guys don't pay? They call someone like me. I was muscle. I was a tough guy. I was always fighting. They all knew me because I was a tough guy. I was always fighting in nightclubs, brawling, knocking guys out, fighting. So the old men knew me because my grandfather was close with them. He was with Goombadis with them. And because I was around them all the time, they heard the stories about me tearing up nightclubs and fighting and stuff. They say, Alonzo, you want to go make some money? And I'm like, what? Like, this guy, man, he's 20 grand late. He ain't been paying his VIG. Send him a message. Tell him it's from me. So I walk over there and punch him in the mouth a couple times. Maybe knock him out, beat him up a little bit. And then I get a couple $1,000 for that. And then most of the time, though, they'd send me to get money from a bookie or a bettor. And I would just say, hey, man, listen, you can't avoid us. You got to pay. How can we do this? Don't you have a boat? Or don't you have something? You got 401k. I don't care what you got to do, but you got to get the money now. You got to cash out whatever. Tell your Aunt Betty, who's got money, that you got in bed with bad people. And that's how I ended up in prison for an extortion charge. So, I mean, you got to pay. And I got in. There were so many rackets and things. I mean, the guy owed $10,000. I made him give me his father's gun collection that was worth like $25,000. They reported it stolen. I sold all these guns to a bunch of drug dealers and gangsters in the street. Some of them got busted with the drugs. I went back to the kid. The kid tried to say it was me, extorted him for him. Then I had to run to New York for 3 years. I hid in New York City for 3 years, and I went straight to the work for the mob in New York City for 3 years. And then my family was able to get to that witness and basically convince him to admit that I had nothing to do with it. So eventually, after 3 years, I was allowed to go back to Detroit, back home, and start off where I left off. So there's a million ways to make money in that life, but I was always making a lot of it. That's for sure. I spent a lot of it, though.
So people that are watching right now that are thinking to themselves, I want to be a mobster too.
No, you don't.
No, but what would you say to those people?
Wake up, man. It's not a movie. You're delusional. It's not a movie. You're not in touch with reality. You see movies like Goodfellas and Godfather, and they glamorize it and they make everything. It's nothing like that, man. It's scary. Every day you wake up wondering if this is the last day. Every time you hear a noise at night, and is that the feds kicking in the door to arrest you? Every car behind you, following you, is a Fed. You might walk into they say, hey, like Tommy needs to see you, or old man Peters needs to see you, says he wants to talk to you. Now I'm walking in his house, and I know I screwed over Pete a while back because I circumvented some racket and was extorting one of his guys. But now we're cool, but maybe he's been mad about it for 2 years, and he tells me, my friend Johnny, to bring me to Tommy's house. And I walk in and I'm like, hey, Pete, what's going on? Bang, I get shot in the back of the head, and that's game over. I mean, it's the world you're in. It's not the world. It's not a world you want. And then, eventually your day comes. When I went away for 13 years, I said a prayer. I said, God, I'm over this life, man. I'm tired of it. And I had a beautiful house, a fiance. I mean, a beautiful, my second house, a beautiful house, 2-3 cars in the driveway, every toy, jet ski, 4-wheeler, snowmobile, dirt bike, and I also had a habit. So, I mean, I was living this lavish life. And then one day I couldn't keep up with the lifestyle. So I had to make more money. I had to go and do things that I typically wouldn't have done. And there's a reason for that too. Cause I got, like 9 months previous to this, I got busted with 2 kilos of heroin, which is about $250,000 worth of heroin. They didn't arrest me though. So when they didn't arrest me, because they said it's pending lab results, they tried to squeeze me into ratting. They wanted me to work with them and tell them, and I wouldn't do it because my dealer was a mafioso. His name was Angelo, and he was a cousin of mine. But Angelo helped me make all this money. Now I'm back on. I didn't even get arrested. I wasn't even at the house when they raided the house. They left an affidavit on the thing, said we've been here, we seized this, call us. I called them and said, they said want to see me, so I go in and see them. First I said, do I need my lawyer? And they're like, no, we just want to talk to you. So I sit down across from the detectives, and they're like, so you want to make this go away? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's like, you know what we're talking about. I said, you got nothing. The case is weak. I wasn't there. There was no hand-to-hand sale. You have no fingerprints. You didn't see me there. He's like, yeah, I win some, I lose some, whatever. I got up and walked out. 9 months go by. But as soon as I got busted, everyone like ran for cover because like, how is Al walking the streets the same day or day after he got busted with 2 kilos of heroin? He didn't get, there's no record of a bond. He had to bond out, nothing. So they think I'm ratting. So now all these people think I'm ratting. And so a lot of the wise guys kind of run for cover, and they won't talk to me or lose my number. So now I'm in the street trying to make money. How am I going to make money? I do gangster stuff. I rob banks. I rob pimps. I rob drug dealers. Just do horrible things. And that's what happened. And I got busted.
What's the most money that you had at one point, like doing these crimes?
The most money I ever personally had in my possession, it's a great story, is $1.7 million, and it wasn't mine. But there's a good story behind it because Tony Giacalone, who was the last person to be seen or going to meet Jimmy Hoffa. So everybody knows the Jimmy Hoffa story. Well, Tony Giacalone was my uncle through marriage. His daughter married one of my cousins. And but Tony Jack himself was close with my grandfather, and he was a high-level bookie sports guy too, but he wasn't a bookie. He was just a protection for bookies. He protected all the bookies. If somebody like me went and said, hey, you're going to pay me $1,000 a week now on, they just call Tony and say, hey, I got a problem with this guy, and then they'd send me, and they ain't paying you nothing. So that's kind of how it works. So Tony's this old gangster. They believe he's responsible for about 50 murders. And anyways, no joke. He was the person that Jimmy Hoffa was going to see that day. So he likes me.
Wow.
And then I became kind of like his pit bull. That's what people would say. Hey, Tony Jack's little pit bull, Alonzo. Because he'd send him a message, and I go punch a guy in the face, smack him around. So one day Tony says, listen, I got something for you and Johnny Fats. You got to go get all this money from all the bookies. You got to do it. And you only got 3 days to get it. Get it all. You got to get it. I said, what's the deal? He's like, the boss has something going on the East Coast, and he needs cash. That's all he told me. I'm like, so how much? He says, all of it. I'm like, what, dude? There's a couple million out there. He's like, get it all. And you run around. Don't worry, you'll get paid. So now they team me up with this guy named Johnny Fats, who's a cousin of mine, who's a homicidal maniac. I hadn't seen him shoot and kill people. So I've seen him shoot people right in front of me. So he's a crazy, good-looking guy, too. He's this good-looking Italian kid. You never suspect that he's a freaking maniac. And so...
How old is he?
He's my age. At the time, he's the same age as me. I mean, we'll give or take like a few months or a year. But anyways, in fact, you kind of look like his sister, by the way. He had 8 sisters. You look like them. They're all beautiful Italian girls. Anyways, so he says, you guys go get this money together. And I didn't really trust Johnny because excuse me, Frankie. I always get confused with my cousin Johnny because they look and acted like. But Frankie... I didn't really trust them because I'd seen him shoot people, and I'd seen him like set people up for robberies and then shoot them, and right in front of me. So we run around, go all these bookies over the next 3 days. You're talking hitting up like 60, 70 guys. How much you got? You're 45,000 books on the books.
Hold, please. Sorry.
Oh, so I tell them how much you got. And they're like, well, only got 20. I'm like, well, I needed 30. I'll be back later to pick up 30. And blah, 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 blah. And he run around for 3 days getting all this money. Then we bring it to a stash house, right? The stash house, ironically, it was the middle of winter. It was right after the Super Bowl. And the heat on the apartment was broken. It was all the way on, so the heat never stopped going. So it's in this apartment. It's like 100 degrees in there. And we're dying. And we got this money counter. And we're counting all this freaking money. And the counter breaks. And now keep in mind, I keep thinking this guy's going to shoot me in the back of the head and just take this money. That's enough money to run, go to El Salvador and live like a king for the rest of your life, a couple $1,000,000. And so I'm looking at him. We got a shotgun against the wall. We both got pistols on us, and he's watching me and I'm watching him. We're both thinking the same thing. He's going to pop me. And, but this money was for the boss. So it means if you do take this money, you'll have to run. You have to run. Forever. You can't come back. Send your face in Detroit. You'll be dead. That's it. So we count the money by hand. It takes us like 10 hours to count 1.7 million. I'll never forget. My thumbs were green. They were so from counting the money, stacks of 10,000. And then I brought the money to Hazel Park Racetrack, which is a mobbed up place. It was owned by the mob.
One second. Hold on. You have a very urgent call coming in. Kermit and Friends, how can I help you?
Hello?
Kermit and Friends.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, it's Sugar. Okay. I want to know, like, women who find this glamorous and want to live the lifestyle and seek out these kind of guys, how does it turn out for him? And also, I want to know if he believes in God.
Great question. Okay, Brain, hold on one second. You're next, Brain. Just 1 second. So women like bad boys typically. In fact, there's another woman like that I'm gonna talk to in a second. Typically they go for bad boys. So do you have like groupies? And how would it turn out for a groupie or like a woman that goes after someone in this field? I feel like it would be dangerous for them.
Well, listen, I have groupies now, women, because I'm a very popular writer. People love my books, and the main character in my books, by the way, called To Be a King. It's about a fictional mafia family, and the main character, Omnio, which means king in Latin. Omnio is the main character. Very tall, handsome, charismatic, charming, brilliant-minded mafioso. And then some women kind of correlate me with him because they read my books and they go, "I'm him," but I'm not. And I always tell them he's way better looking and way smarter than me. But back in the day. No, it's not something so in New York or the East Coast, the mob guys really project it. They tell everybody their business and they go, "Look at me, I'm in the mob, I'm connected to this guy, that guy." It doesn't work like that in Detroit. It's very secretive. That's the reason why Detroit never gets busted or indicted. You don't see them in the news. It's very, very successful as a mafia family. But some women know, of course, the women in our family all knew that, my nieces, nephews, and cousins and aunts, and they all know, but they don't talk about it. And the men don't talk about it with the women. I had a girlfriend before I went to prison for 13 years. I never shared nothing with her, nothing. She knew my family was the mafia, but she didn't bother to ask because she knew I wasn't going to tell her. When I left in the morning, she always was scared because she knew, because I'd been out of jail my whole life. I'm getting arrested and I've been shot and all these things. So she was loyal to me. But my wife that I have today found me when I was in prison. And she saw when I was in prison. Yeah, this is an incredible story. My wife saw my wife saw me on Facebook. I had a Facebook while I was in prison, and she saw that I was a writer. And this is also helps answer her question about God. On my Facebook, I put, "I'm a Christian." My wife, who was raised a Muslim, had converted to Christianity because of her boyfriend, and she said, "Hey, listen, I'm a new Christian. I see you are too. I also work for a publisher. I see you write books. Maybe if you want to send me a copy of one of your books, I'll read it. And if I know anyone, if I can push it to in New York, publisher in New York." And I was like, "Oh, I'd love that. It'd be great." So I had one of my paisans PDF the book, just 1,100-page book. I don't have any. I'm not in my office, but this 1,100-page manuscript. I had him send it to her. My wife, just to give you an idea of the reality of this. My wife was a book nerd her whole life. So she read the entire Little House on the Prairie series by the time she was 4. She read everything, went to the library every week. All she did was she worked at the bookstore in high school, had a literary scholarship in high school, ended up working for publishing, yada, yada, yada. So she said, "I'll take your book, take a look at it." So she takes my book, my 1,100-page book, reads it on her phone as a PDF in 3 days, blows through it, and would write me in prison email called a JPay.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So would you say
it gets better.
To marry a fan, Gunner, is the moral of the story, marry a fan? Those are the people that will appreciate you the most?
I mean, yes, but you're whoever you marry should be your biggest fan. My wife is. Yeah. But listen what happened. So we began writing. She first tells me the true story. She says, your book is the best book that I've ever read, and I've read 10,000 books. She's like, you're a unicorn. That's what she called me. She's like, you're a freaking unicorn, publishing unicorn.
What's up with this shot? I don't like this shot.
I said, all right. So she started writing me back and forth, writing me, and we just fell in love through love letters over like a year. And she said, I'm going to wait for you. I believe in you.
I got you.
I think you're special. I'm going to wait for you. So she ended up waiting for me 6.5 years. I married her the day I got out, and we've been together 12 years now.
Wow, that is unbelievable. Just hold on 1 second, Gunnar. What an inspirational story, Mike. What do you think of that story?
I don't know. I like that it glamorized the life. Where I come, gangsters don't talk about it like that. So I don't know. I'll tell you what, I'd much rather talk about the LA Rams and the Super Bowl that's coming to LA. That's for sure. And a big football game for you people on the West Coast today. You're going against Tom Brady. I mean, that's big.
Oh, so you don't like the whole mob? I mean, it's fascinating with Gunnar. What he came from a life, he almost had no choice but to be a mobster, Mike.
Now we all have a choice. That's nonsense. I mean, you got to listen. Like, Whitey Bulger, the patriarchal crime family. We have one of the original, families in La Cosa Nostra here, and there's never a good ending. You got to turn on your friends and your family. It's a rat's life, and all you do is hurt people and take advantage of the weak, and that's not how I get down.
But okay, so if Gunnar grew up in a household where everyone was a mobster and everybody was doing crime, like what chance would he have? How could he decide as a child? As a child, you look at your parents and you look at your family,
Sure.
They're like all you're surrounded with. So how would you?
I mean, John Gotti's kid told his father when his dad was in prison dying that he was walking away from a life that has brought him nothing but misery. I mean, anybody who really loves you isn't going to bring you into that life. Like, it's not a comic book. I mean, where does it end well? Tell me one mobster that end well. You want me to talk about some of the movies? All right, let's take Goodfellas, okay? Joe Pesci's character, De Niro's character, and Ray Liotta's character. They all end up turning on one another and hating one another and trying to kill one another. You know what I mean? And, if you look at, it's the Bronx Tale. I mean, all of them. I mean, it's not
a movie. It's Gunnar's life, and he turned out great. He has a book.
Sure, listen. I'm all about redemption. I mean, that's great, but I'm not. I've seen it up close and personal. Okay, Providence, Rhode Island, which was the headquarters for the New England Mafia for 100 years, is 10 minutes from me. Okay, South Boston, Whitey Bulger's enclave, is 45 minutes from me. Okay, I've seen the carnage that heroin and all that and gambling and extortion has done to people. Okay, it's terrible. You're preying on the weak. Okay, and it's not something that should be ever glorified by any stretch of the imagination. I mean, my brother, okay, has a best-selling book called Basketball Junkie. Played in the NBA with the $700 a day heroin habit, okay, and now has been clean for 12 years. He's got 2 30 for 30s about him. One of them's called Unguarded. The other one's called The First Day. That are among the most popular documentaries in the history of ESPN. And his story's about recovery. His story's about walking away from that life and being strong enough to be a family man and go to work every day and do the stuff that you're supposed to be doing, I'd much rather talk about something like that.
Okay, we can talk about that. CEO of Kermit and Friends, T. Bob Love. Any thoughts on this new person here, Mike Heron?
Yeah, there's a few things come to mind here. Number one, we have a little wannabe mafia operating that we call Team Hate. Operating against Elisa right now, but they're low grade. probably not worth 50 cents. But I was more interested about your rape charges that were dropped. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
What are you talking about, Bob?
This is my family has a foundation called the Heron Project, and we get people drug treatment for free. And
oh, that's wonderful.
And you can look it up. And we had taken several members of this girl's family, and she was an addict and she was desperate, and she ended up charging me with rape charges. They were dismissed before a hearing within 6 months of Superior Court. So we had 4 affidavits saying that she lied about the entire thing, affidavits from her mother and her grandmother and all of that. But
Right.
and you know something, and you did the research, obviously, and you know that everything I'm telling you right now about the witness, about the victim, being uncredible, and the affidavits of her lying, and the Superior Court case getting dismissed before a hearing, happens 1 out of a million times. But they knew that there was a rush to judgment. I never touched this woman, and that's it. But I mean, to come on and do some stuff like that, that's weak. You know what I mean? I thought I was.
Trust me, I understand where you're coming from.
And listen, and I'm not hating on the host by any stretch of your imagination, but I don't think all that gangster shit is cool when you're 50 years old. I don't think it should be glorified. I don't think it should be bragged about.
Wait, what? Are you talking about our previous guests? Wait, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
I'm getting a little confused.
No, what I'm saying is this, okay? What I'm saying is this. I don't feel that lifestyle, okay, is attractive. It's not righteous. It hurts a lot of people. Like, I'm from Fall River, Massachusetts. It's a blue collar, working class, tough city in Massachusetts, and the drug epidemic has ravaged my city.
I wasn't talking about that. I don't know. I don't hear the thing.
I mean, you were talking about selling keys of heroin.
I said I got busted in here. Nothing said clearly. Hold on a second. You hear nothing I said. You just heard mafia baton. Stop. Mike, please.
Listen, don't tell me.
Let me finish what I'm saying. You didn't hear anything I was saying. My story is about redemption. I said I got busted for that at that time, and that's why I was running the streets. But dude, you didn't hear nothing about my story at all. You didn't hear nothing. In fact, you don't know nothing about my story. You never lived that life. You never been involved in that life. You never did 13 years in prison. You think because you were in Rhode Island around a little pocket of mafia?
Nah. I'm from Fall River.
I know. Why don't you Google up Detroit Mafia and say Google up and find out what you find? All right, Google that up.
All right. So let me flip it on you. I'm in a process right now to do a pilot series with Scott Bernstein.
Scott Bernstein is my partner, genius. He's on my show every time. We're my best friends.
Okay, so you call him and ask him about me.
You call him and ask him about me. I'll call him right now and put him on the phone.
Go ahead, call him.
All I'm saying is you didn't hear. You didn't hear nothing. I don't want to bother him on a show that's ridiculous. He's one of my best friends. Scott
Bernstein has been begging for my family's life.
Call him and just ask him about me then. I
don't gonna ask him about you.
I know you didn't, but you didn't hear my story at all, bro. I was trying to tell you. I said walk away from that life. I said I hated that life, and you heard I was glamorizing.
I said the same thing. And I said the same thing.
You didn't hear anything.
I didn't say that you were glamorizing. I said it was being glamorized.
I didn't, and then in a movie, it was my real freaking life. I did 13 years in prison. I mean,
just make sure
I'm with you on the not glamorizing tip, bro. Just listen to the story. I went away when I was 29 and came out at 44.
Sure. So you should know better than anybody that that's a fool's life.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't want to hear about that. Hey, he's just whatever.
No. I mean, I listened to you. I listened to you from also. I was sitting in my chair 20 minutes early, man.
Listen, let me tell you what I've done since I got out of prison. I wrote 10 novels, bro. I started a apparel company. I'm a CEO. I have a radio show.
Okay.
And I'm a man of God. I do the right thing. I'm not trying to glamorize nothing.
Sure. I started the first internet radio station in New England.
I don't know what you did. I'm not calling you nothing. I don't know nothing about it. I never heard your name before in my life. I'm not saying you're phony or this, that. I'm not going to buy dude calling you a rapist. I'm not saying nothing. You're just freaking, you just come right on here and dog me. I'm
not dogging you. I'm dogging that's being clarified. But
yes, so was I.
Since you want to talk about your 10 books, we got 2.
I spent 13 years in prison, dude.
So now
I just got out of prison.
So what do you want? A badge? Congratulations.
You don't know. You want a badge? What are you, 60 years old? It took you to get there? I'm done in 5 years.
I ain't 60 years old. I'm 50 years old, Jack.
All right. Well, whatever it was, I don't know who you are or care.
Just do me a favor.
I'm here for her. I don't care about you, bro. I don't know who you are or care.
Call your boy Scott Bernstein. He'll let you know.
All right, let's see.
Who is Scott Bernstein? I'm sorry, I got a little confused in that. Who is that?
He's a very accomplished criminal sports journalist from the Detroit area who's been looking to make My Family Story a motion picture movie. There's 2 New York Times best-selling books called Basketball Junkie and Forever Dreams. And, of course, you have the 30 for 30s.
What is your name?
Mike Herron.
Mike Herron. I don't like to bother him like the middle of the day on Sunday.
You ain't going to bother him.
He's one of my best friends. I call him every day.
Well, you call him. He'll let you know.
It's ringing. It's ringing.
Good.
But you should ask him about me.
Well, I don't need to ask him about you, Jack.
Yeah, but you just assumed I was just some dude.
Nah, man.
Glorifying some gangster stuff.
Go do your thing. Just ask. Ask about.
Honestly, Mike, I won't ask him because I don't give a shit. So
okay,
I don't care.
Okay. Well, you just called him, so you do.
Can I just?
I'll forget about you at the end of this show and be like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to ask Mike Herron a question. Okay.
Sure. Yeah. Ask me a question.
So Mike. Okay. So Mike Herron. I Googled you. Right before you came on the show, and the first thing that came up was that crime that you were, they said you did, right? The crime. That's the first thing that came up. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can ask Gunner. In superior court cases, charges never get dismissed without a hearing. Very, very rarely, 1 in a million.
Okay, but the thing is, the reason why I brought that up, that's not the reason why I brought it up. I just brought it up because can you somewhat relate to Gunner, how he had problems, he had troubles, and he's been very forthright with it, and he's been honest. It's a beautiful thing.
My brother played in the NBA for the Boston Celtics, okay? He played for Jerry Tarkanian at Fresno
Your brother's not on the show, bro. I am.
Are you going to let me finish?
You are, and he is. Nobody cares about your brother. We're talking about me. She asked you a question about me, Mike.
So here's the deal, right? So here's the deal. So I appreciate redemption stories. So before this blowhard interrupted me. So I appreciate that end of it.
I love that.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I'd much rather be talking about LA hosting the Super Bowl.
That's not what I'm here to talk about. I don't care about the Super Bowl. I was invited here to talk about me, Mike. Yeah, I can give a shit less about the Super Bowl. I don't watch Super Bowls because they take the knee and disrespect the flag. Goodbye. I haven't watched them in 7 years. I care less.
Boring. Okay. The Super Bowl's boring.
She asked me here to talk about me. Asked me my story. I shared it. You call me a blowhard, but start dogging me.
You're a big hero, heroin dealer, and now you're talking about the American flag like you're some kind of patriot.
Yeah, I turned it around, man. It's been 20 years. I broke a law.
All right,
easy
good.
For you to say.
Good. God
bless. Do you think, Mike?
Scott says can't talk for a second.
Okay. Get Scott on the line as soon as possible, Gunnar. I just want to ask Hurricane Mike.
I'll call Scott. Hold on.
Okay. So while you're calling Scott, I just have a question. So do you feel like, I mean, the contrast between Gunnar had been a mobster and now he's an extremely successful radio guy, author. He has a clothing line. He is on huge podcasts, all the time. I mean, don't you see that he came from somewhere that was very difficult? Wait, what's he doing?
I come from a very difficult place as well too, okay? And I appreciate that redemption story. I mean, I think that's fantastic.
But you didn't seem to appreciate it.
I'm not talking about the redemption. I think the redemption story is righteous, okay? But but I don't. I mean, I just there's a lot of hurt people and a lot of carnage in the wake.
No, there really is. And I'm kind of surprised by the way this entire conversation has come together. Mike, I didn't know that you were going to be here today. I didn't know who both of the guests were. I knew who one of the guests was.
Sure, yeah.
Gunnar is an invite by me. I was actually born in Newport, Rhode Island.
Okay.
And my mom lives, just across the river from Fall River. I'm very familiar with where you're from.
So you know what I'm saying is true.
And I have known some mob-connected people throughout my life, and I have never experienced people who openly threaten people with their mob connections. And I'm actually in a personal situation right now with somebody who's causing me some cyber stalking and terrorism, where he's threatening me with his made man from the Irish mafia. And I frankly don't even know how to deal with it.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of talk now. The federal, the RICO indictments and the federal law agencies, they've essentially crippled like the organized criminal element in New England. From they cleaned up Whitey Bulger's mess, and Rhode Island. There's a lot of guys that are real old that are doing it. I mean, they just realize that that's not the way of the world. You know what I mean? Like once the feds come after you, and ultimately they will. I mean, they have unlimited resources and an unbelievable technology. And they're gonna get you, and then you're gonna end up either on the run, telling on your good friends, or you're gonna be living in a cage for 15 years. Like that gentleman had to do, unfortunately.
Okay, so we have CEO T. Bob Love on with the Hurricane.
Yeah.
That's his radio name, the Hurricane.
Right.
Mike
Right.
Heron.
Yeah.
The Hurricane. I like the name. Hey, I like both of these guests. I just want to clear the air there. My thing though is that Mike, he currently knows mafia people to where your other guest, he's basically out of there. He couldn't be trusted anymore because he was running at the lips, writing books and all that. So at best, he would be a liability. Now, he's a good guy. I like him. I like anybody that comes clean with their story. That deserves recognition. But you give yourself away when you try to hide too much about a particular direction, a topic, to where you want to change a topic. And it's obvious because you're naming names and telling this guy who to go look up over there.
Well, no.
Still have connections to the mafia.
Hold on. I don't have any connections to the mafia or any connection to organized crime. I've never sold a drug in my life.
I didn't say none of that. I said you still know those people. You still hang around them. Otherwise, how do you know to name names?
Why does Bob think that you're friends with the mafia?
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. I have no idea.
Now, you know too much and you know too many names. You can't claim that now. It's too late.
What names did I say? What, the Whitey Bulger? Whitey Bulger is one of the most famous criminals in the history of this country.
Your brother, Chris Heron, has made movies about the mafia.
No, he hasn't made movies about the mafia, you idiot. He's made
really?
About
I got one right here. I got one right here I'm looking at.
Yes. What's the name of the movie? What's the name of the book?
It's called The Problem with Playing for the Mob.
No, that's not Chris Heron. That's not his book, you fool.
It's Chris Heron.
I mean, what kind of Mickey Mouse operation we got going on now? It's Chris Heron, Herren, not Herring. If you want to look up his books, look up Unguarded and look up Forever Dreams or look up Basketball Junkie. Those are tremendously popular documentaries on ESPN.
It's more of like a Kermit the Frog operation than a Mickey Mouse operation. Okay, so Bob, these guests are great, right?
Yeah, Mike's into he's really into good plausible deniability. I mean, this guy is top of the line. You're not going to get nothing out of him.
Oh, you think he's being secretive?
Hold on.
He can't reveal himself to people.
Smoggy, of course I can. My life's an open book. What are you talking about? I'm just telling you this, that my brother never wrote a book, all right, about any gangsters. He wrote 2 books, Forever Dreams, which was a very successful book about his high school basketball team, and he wrote Basketball Junkie, which I believe was a New York Times bestseller, about his recovery.
And he wrote this article right here.
And he's never written an article. He's a public speaker of the highest demand. He speaks at West Point. He speaks at the Naval Academy. He speaks at Alabama football. He speaks at Microsoft, Nike CEOs. He speaks everywhere. That is not Chris Herring, okay? Get that thing away from me. What is this guy doing?
He's the CEO. He's the CEO of Kermit and Friends. He's really, he actually showed his penis in Discord the other day.
Well, I mean, I think that's great. Now, let me ask you a question, right? You said that you guys were affiliated with Howard Stern in some sort of way back in the day?
Yeah.
So you know Hank Nassif, right?
Who?
Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Hank's from my father's old neighborhood. He's from Fall River. Hank used to come by my house on Christmas morning. We had an open house on Christmas Day from all morning until all night. And he was from my father's old neighborhood. And him and his buddies would come by here and eat and hang out. So I just thought that connection. I know that a lot of the staff there were real close with Hank.
Okay, I'm getting a caller. Kermit and Friends, how can I help you?
That Gunner guy was a fucking rat bastard, cocksucker, piece of shit, disgraced his fucking family. The guy's a fucking piece of shit. He's got big trouble coming, that fucking faggot cocksucker.
Why? He's being so honest. I love Gunner. You guys see, something that I don't like is when people are honest and forthcoming of who they are, exactly what they've done wrong, which is hard to be. No one is like that. And when you find someone like that, when you find someone like Gunner who comes forward and says, I did this was wrong, I feel he had no choice the way he grew up. He grew up in a family of mobsters. What kind of shot do you have in the world? I mean, like my parents got divorced. I put a lot of things on that. He grew up in a family of the mob. That's a lot worse, right, Wheezy?
Yeah, I mean, people are going to hate on him just for hating. I think he's, pretty brave for coming out because a lot of people can look at him as like a target or something like that. I mean, yeah, it seems to me that there was animosity between those two guys immediately.
But why, Wheezy? Why?
I think that, it came off as for Hurricane that Gunner was basically bragging, which I didn't take it at all. I did see it as like a redemption story of like, hey, look at what I did in my past and look at what I'm able to do now. But it seems like even the caller, me too.
Yeah, but you think he was jealous? Like Hurricane Mike was jealous of his redemption story?
No, I think that Hurricane Mike was probably thinking, hey, I know real gangsters. This dude's not a gangster. He's just trying to get clout. That's what I think.
You think Hurricane Mike thinks that Gunner's trying to get clout? That's interesting. But you know what I don't like when people like say clout is bad. Clout is good. I don't think clout is bad. Kermit and Friends, how can I help you?
Hello, Lisa. It's Dave.
Hey, Dave. Thanks for calling in.
That's right. I was just wondering if maybe Gunner would have some advice for you because you were talking last week about sometimes when you're walking around, as a woman on your own, you had that guy follow you and stuff. And Gunner's like a big tough dude. He might be able to give you some advice because there must be women who he's known in his life who've been in dangerous situations, and he might be able to give you some advice on how to walk around the street safer.
Well, I was actually going to ask him to set me up with that dangerous cousin. So maybe that could help.
Yeah, exactly. Have some kind of, one of his like tough guy mates walk around with you because you probably wouldn't be bothered if you had a member of the mafia with you.
Yeah, exactly. No, I feel safer just knowing Gunner. So this is great. So what do you think of these guests? What do you think of Hurricane Mike? He kind of, it seems like he has a dog in the fight. He seems to be, I don't know. There's something about Gunner that's triggering him. And that's always interesting to me.
But it's interesting, though, that it's like it'd be men kicking off. Because I think sometimes when you get a guy like Gunner in the mafia and whatever, like a lot of men's reaction is to be like, hey, I'm tougher than that guy. Like later gets like a bit competitive, like a couple of dogs fighting in like a backyard somewhere. But I think it's just kind of like all men like to kind of think they're tough guys. But in reality, like only like 3 men are actually hard. And the rest of them are kind of wimpy. So I think it's just a lot of bravado that you get.
Wait, hold on 1 second, Dave.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was.
No. I called Tyler Bow, who you guys are friendly with your producer.
Tyler Bow?
Yeah.
How is Tyler Bow involved in this? He's not in the mob, is he?
No. Tyler Bow's from Fall River, and he's the reason why I'm on this podcast.
Tyler Bow, the actor.
And I told him very specifically, because he knows my brother. He knows my brother's story and my family story very, very well. My brother only wrote 2 books. I mean, you got somebody coming on your podcast that is saying, untruths and a lie, saying that my brother wrote this book and that book.
Wow, this is terrific. Dave, did you know that Tyler Bow is somehow involved in all of this? Wow, mind blown.
I hate to ruin the moment, but I don't know who Tyler Bow is.
Oh, Tyler Bow is an actor that came on a couple weeks back, and Brain was very jealous of him, and it was great. But
sorry, I do remember. Sorry, yeah.
You got to call them and straighten this shit out, bro.
Oh, so somehow he's involved in all this. Oh, well, that's
he's involved in this. This is wonderful. This is Dave. This is the best day ever.
I'm going to call him right now because we're on here.
I thought was funny though as well is that like Gunner, and I don't remember the older guy because he's like a big scary fellow, but he works in radio.
917-803
quality sounding microphone of any guest that's ever been on.
917-803-3705.
Yeah, no, he's terrific. I love all these guests. They're wonderful. I love this Scott Bernstein guy. I love all these people. They're just so wonderful. And I love how everybody's connected. And I just want to say, if you're watching this right now, you could be part of this, right? So you like the way everybody's all friends and everybody knows each other and everybody's calling everybody out on their bullshit and everybody's jealous of everyone. Don't you want to be a part of this? Come on, who wouldn't?
Come and join the fun.
Come and join the fun, right, Dave? Dave, how's your career going after being on TV?
Yeah, so I actually a lady sent me a guitar that she made for me. I will send you a picture if you want to put it up on the Discord. But a lady made a cigar box guitar after watching her on TV and sent it to me, which was lovely of her. There's only one in the world. She actually made it. Isn't that cool?
Tyler Bow's calling me. Thanks, Dave. Love you. Send me that picture.
Okay, thanks, babe.
Okay, Tyler Bow, you're on Kermit and Friends.
Hello, is this Lisa?
Yes, it is.
Hey, sweetheart. Jesus, you guys are going to kill each other over there.
Yeah, it's fun. I didn't know you were all involved. I just want to say to Gunner, you're definitely next. Just let me hear from Tyler, and then Gunner is coming on to address Mike. Okay, so everybody just be patient. I'm going to take my phone number down. I'm going to hear from Tyler and then Gunner. Tyler, yes.
Hello, Kermit and Friends. All right, listen, I just want to clarify one thing. Chris Herron, Bob, or whatever his name is.
Mike Herron.
I know Chris. I know Mike. I grew up with them. I'm also from Fall River. And no, Chris only wrote 2 books. And I have a copy here in L.A., which is an excellent, excellent book. So whoever's getting the information about him writing different books and whatever other books are under a guy by Mike Herring, I guess is the spelling, that's not correct, okay? So it'd be wise for people to get their facts together, and it would be nice, let's be nice, man. This is, we all live in one world here, So we have differences of opinions. That's okay with me as far as I'm concerned. And, it's open for conversation. We don't have to bash each other or, if you don't agree with something, say you don't agree. I mean, I had this problem when I was on your show, 2 weeks ago? Some guy, I think it was Bob Brain or whatever, he started ragging on me for no reason whatsoever, I don't agree with that kind of behavior. And once again, let's make it clear. Chris Herron has 2 books. Basketball junkie, and he grew up in Fall River. He's a great guy. I know the whole family. So let's make nice, okay?
Okay, so if somebody wrote a book, you could probably figure out what book that is, right, Tyler? It's pretty easy. Books are not like a private thing; it's public. A book.
Yeah. Well, Chris only wrote 2 books. Basketball junkie. And the other title escapes my head right now. I'm just waking up here in LA, so.
Yeah. Well, good morning. Thank you so much for calling in, Tyler. You cleared a lot of things up here Wow, you know all these people. You really get around.
Yeah, I have a fast car.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, God bless you. Feel free to call in anytime. We love you here. Thanks for calling in, Tyler.
Okay, Lisa. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. So that was Tyler Bowe calling in to say that Mike Herron's brother only wrote 2 books. So glad we know that. Okay, Gunner. Yes.
Yes.
In
So
the private chat, you said, let's see what you said. I want to address the punk who called in. Which punk? Which one?
Oh, there was the one punk who was going, Gunner's a mother effer. He's dead. They're going to kill him. First of all, you moron, I didn't rat. My family loves me. I did an Italian festival 2 years in a row where 200,000 Italians from the city come around. No, not one negative word. The boss's brother came, shook my hand, and bought my book. Nobody bothers me. I did my time like a man. I didn't rat like a weasel. And all of those guys from back in that era, that time, to be perfectly honest, they were scared shitless of me. I was the boogeyman to those guys. They had guns. I had guns. I've been into fights with them, so I'm not. Well, wait a minute, Mike's back. I don't want him to think I'm glamorizing. I'm addressing the guy who said, "Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in a rat." I mean, I never ratted on nobody. And as far as Mike, I don't know Mike, but Scott does. Scott says he's I'm not gonna say exactly what he says, but he's did a family thing with his girlfriend. He doesn't know what he wants. He's like, "What do you need me for? I'll step out." I'm like, "Nothing really. He just addressed this. I don't even know what I want him for. Just for him to tell you that I'm not that guy out there glamorizing the mob. I'm not that guy doing that. In fact, I'm glamorizing the opposite."
Okay, so what did Scott Bernstein say about me?
He said, "You're both my boys. What do you want? What do you want me to say?" And I said, "He's a blowhard." He says, "Yeah, that's his thing." Boston guy. Pretty much it.
No, to be honest with you, you sounded like the blowhard to me, but whatever.
How so? I was simply telling you my story. See, here's the thing, Mike. Wait. She asked me to come on my show to tell my story, and that's what I was doing.
Sure.
Then you came on here and said, my brother.
No.
We're talking about me. I'm the guest.
What I'm talking about is a scourge against humanity. Anybody that sells heroin, okay?
I'm not disagreeing. I was a heroin addict, Mike. You didn't hear my story? You didn't hear me say that? Yeah. I was a heroin addict.
Send me a book. I'll read it.
To Be a King. I'll send it to you. You'll love it. Trust me.
And Gunnar, you can come on my sports podcast, whatever you want, and I'll go on your podcast.
That'd be great. That would be great.
Nice.
That's great. Mike, just know that I just want you to know, I guess why I took offense to all that, maybe I did sound a bit like a blowhard, simply because I've worked very hard to distance myself from that life.
Sure.
I'm a Christian now. I walk the walk, and I really do. I live on a 20-acre ranch in the middle of the wilderness. I fish, I hunt, I play, I ride my snowmobiles. I live a very quiet, humble life. I just do my best I can to not be the guy that I used to be. And the old guy I used to be was violent and crazy and sold drugs and all those wrong things. But it can change. It can change. I'm the redemption story. I'm the one proving that it can change. So there's my story.
As Scott knows, I was a violent guy in my past too. I just did it a different way. I did it with my hands. But
that's what I was. I wasn't violent with a gun. I've been shot and stuff.
And you know that Scott probably told you that when you talked to him. But here's the deal, right? I respect your redemption. And ultimately, that's most important. But you know as well as I do, Gunnar, here, right? That you don't want to listen to any wise guy from yada, 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 talk about this or what they did and all that.
You're absolutely right. I don't listen to any of those mobcasts and those MobTube shows. Not one. I don't read about them. Scott Bernstein is literally one of my best friends. Literally top 3 friends. We don't talk about mafia stuff. And so we talk about projects and things we got going. I don't watch mobcasts, YouTube or any YouTube stuff, podcast streams. I don't read nothing. I don't care about it. I lived that life for 13 years, and then I went to 16 years. Then I went to prison for 13 years.
All right, great. Kermit and Friends, how can I help you?
Okay, Gunnar. You want to fucking play, Gunnar? I'm gonna fucking play, bro.
Brain, why are you mad at Gunnar? He's being awesome right now.
Snitch. Piece of shit, disgrace to Italians everywhere, you motherfucker.
All right. No. That was not a good call. I didn't like that. No. And Scott Bernstein, if you're watching, you should be my friend. I'm probably more fun than both these guys. Okay. So we're going to listen to some financial news from the Quan Token. Quan Token, what's going on?
Hey, Lisa, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes. What's your financial news for everybody? Maybe Gunner and Hurricane Mike and Bob and Charmin and I, we can all invest. What's going on?
So we released the Quan Token officially this week. It's on 7 different international exchanges. It benefits autism and mental illness awareness, advocacy, and jobs. And it's really exciting. I'm happy to have you involved with the board.
Yes, I am representing the autistic coin, right, Barry?
Yes.
So the autistic coin. So if anybody wants an autistic coin, they can come to me. Wheezy's saying it's not doing well. Wheezy, is the autistic coin not doing well?
Well, no. I would never hate on that. Crypto in general isn't doing well, and I blame him for releasing it on that day. I'm blaming Barry for all of this.
Why is that? It's the Fed. It's the Fed news that they announced they were going to release a Fed token that made the market tank, and everybody knows that. And
I saw CNN did the story.
They're speculating that they're going to release a Fed token. They hinted at it is what's causing the crypto market tank. But you know what? Now is the best time to buy and dip. You're
buying a low, so it's low, so we'll buy it now. Okay, so Wheezy, obviously the wrap-up show's coming up. Mm-hmm. Any thoughts on like Gunner and Mike? And I wonder like if they really will be friends or like, what was going on there.
It was just pretty riveting.
Yeah, it was just so interesting how these two guests like just really were combative against. I mean, Mike really went against Gunner, and I think Mike just left in a fit of rage because I saw him click off. So I don't want anybody to be mad here. Everybody should follow Mike Heron and obviously Gunner as well. I mean, all these guys have podcasts and radio shows, and hopefully they'll be on your wrap-up show.
Yes, they're both very welcome. Yeah, I would love to host that. I mean, that would be a friendlier discourse than a lot of the stuff that happens on the wrap-up anyway. So
really,
they're more than welcome.
Do you think that do you think they'd be a good part of the community? Do you think they'd be interested in it? I'm not sure.
Well, I feel like Gunner could fill up any hour-long show with just one story.
Yeah,
he's content.
Stories.
He's got content.
Yeah, he has so many stories, and it's so nice to meet new people like that really express themselves, and they're super honest. He's super honest. You know, Charbon, you've been honest on this show. Sometimes it doesn't like bode well for people that are as honest as Charmin or Gunner or anyone coming forward, but we still recommend people do that because I mean that you get support. I mean, Gunner's gonna have so much support. Mm-hmm. After the show, people are going to be reaching out to him saying thank you. And
Gunner was great, and I think it was really odd that I just think it was really odd that you managed to pull together two such good guests at the same time, and they know each other. Elisa, how do you keep getting these miracle little gifts from God? And that the theme today with all the basketball stuff and the Super Bowl and LA and the mafia and my creepy stalkers, team hate and team fist and the bad behavior that's going on around here. There's a lot going on, and it's like the universe is bringing together players to help the battles work out evenly.
I mean, I just am doing I'm not really trying that much. I mean, these people just came to me. I think you brought us Gunner, and Hurricane Mike was from Elaine and Tyler Bow. So by building our community, there's more cool people coming in, and we're getting to know them, and hopefully they'll be regulars here if they want to be, and then we'll get to know them more and more.
Yeah, and Fall River is my little corner of the world. I was born in Newport, and I have a great story. I'm so happy to see so many people coming together the way we are.
Yeah, it's just terrific. And obviously you'll be on the wrap-up show. If Gunner or Mike wants to be your co-host, please step forward. Charmin's looking for
My poor co-hosts. I don't think they understand what they're getting into. They need to understand how complicated my story is, right? And it's not just that some occasional dancing might be involved. I mean, they might be forced to watch hours of my pole dancing videos. God knows the horror that could be.
Why is that
right?
bad, Charmin? They would
No,
freaking love
listen,
that.
this is the greatest job on the planet because my dance studio, one of the girls just placed fourth in the world equivalent of pole Olympics, and we'll be doing a pole con in Atlanta in June. This is not a bad gig for somebody to get involved in, for sure. There's definitely some perks to being on the inside of the circle of trust. But there is some danger that comes along with it, right? I've got a gang of goons that are following me around and making rapey, terroristic statements to me to try to get me to shut up and go away. And whoever wants to be part of my story and help me is going to need to be tough and be able to backtalk some of these jerks that are actively terrorizing me just to get me to shut up.
What's going on?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. So I mean, Sharon. I mean, you're from Florida. I mean, you know what it's all about. I mean, Florida is every bit as rough as anywhere in this country. Florida, New Bedford, very towns that NAFTA has hit hard. You know what it is. We got a lot of
You're
history.
making a lot of calls. I'm just curious, all the people you're calling throughout the podcast, like who was just on the phone just now?
Who's on the phone? That's somebody that wants to write a book about my story, my life story.
Scott Bernstein.
But you got to remember too, we got a very big sportscast. We just got nominated for the best sportscast in Boston. And today is a huge day in the sports world.
Wow.
The LA Rams play Tampa Brady and Tom Brady. And like myself, a lot of people in New England were very disappointed how the Patriots treated Tom Brady and have started rooting for him since he's been in Tampa. So today's a big day. So I'm getting calls from sports writers and stuff all over the country. So
wow, how terrific. So you have the #1 sports podcast in Boston.
I said we got nominated as one of the best sports podcasts. That's why your friend told me that. That's why your friend got me on here. That's what she said.
Terrific. That's terrific.
I believe her name's Elaine, right?
Elaine, yes. So #1 sports podcast in Boston. Bob, you'll check that out, right? And everybody's
So can we have the CEO apologize for saying that my brother and my family wrote books that they didn't write?
Well, I wasn't just referring to books. I was referring to articles written.
Well, but that's not what you said, homie. You said that my brother wrote this book about the mob and fixing basketball games.
I misspoke. I apologize for that.
Okay, thank you. And then hopefully, somebody could, I mean, I was told this was going to be talking about sports, and then all of a sudden, let me explain something to you, okay? That fraudulent
you want to put a wager on who's going to win the Super Bowl?
That fraudulent rape charge, okay, was one of the most difficult things I ever had to deal with in my life, okay? But I was fortunate that everybody in my community knew that wasn't in their character. I was fortunate that I hired the right private investigator, okay? And he was able to get her to admit she was lying on 4 affidavits, and her family, that she told her family that she lied about it all, okay?
So why do you think she did that? Why do you think she did that?
Hold on. The sad thing about this is this. If I didn't have money to hire a good attorney or a good private investigator, I would still be detained, okay, on a dangerousness bail hearing, okay? So there are people like me, okay, who have been fraudulently charged with crimes, okay, and because they can't make bail, or they can't hire the right attorney, or they can't hire a private investigator like I was able to do, okay, because the private investigators really do the majority of the work, then they're still being there. They'll be in there for 2, 3, 4 years before their trial even comes up. I mean, there are people on Rikers Island that have been in prison for 4.5 years, and they're still awaiting trial.
What I read about your case, Mike, was that She didn't show up in court. Is that what happened?
No, we never. It was dismissed before a hearing even happened. She had told. See, my private investigator was an ex-cop and had previously worked as a private investigator for the Bristol County District Attorney's Office. Okay, so they knew how credible this guy was, because the same people that the charges were filed, he used to work with them and he used to help them prove their cases. But now he was in the private sector, and his integrity and character was beyond repute. And I was just fortunate that he knew that I had been railroaded severely, and he was able to track the alleged victim down and go to her family's house. And I believe we had 17 legal affidavits and talking about her confessing that she had lied about everything.
I see. I don't know if this is a joke or not. I don't know if this is a joke or not from Caleb Mandrake. If rape charges are dropped, they should be erased from record, including Google searches. Like, it is kind of fucked up that immediately. I mean, you have the #1 sports radio show in Boston, yet when we Google you, the only thing that comes up is about rape. Like, that's very fucked up.
But I was told on Google that the dismissed charges are the first thing you see now, right?
No. I mean, when I Googled you just to find out about your show, I couldn't find anything about the show and only about this case. So
yeah, well, I mean, you got to remember, we are a very, very, very high profile family, as your friend from Newport will tell you. So I mean, my studio is surrounded by trucks. Currently we have a federal exploring a federal suit against the Fall River Police Department. And the tragedy of this whole thing was she got caught with my credit cards, my money, my checkbook, my antique coins. Her alcohol was well over 3 point. Her blood intoxication was over 3.5. She said it happened.
So did you guys have sex and she just regretted it, or what was the situation?
No. She said that she was an addict, and due to
Oh, wow. He just dropped off. That's pretty crazy. Charmin, are you crying?
Yes.
Why?
Because he's so right. He's lucky that he has money for an attorney and a PI. My campaign manager fucked my life up with her false accusations that I don't have money for an attorney or a PI to sue her. And I got these crazy stalkers threatening me and harassing me and threatening to hurt me. And because this man has money, he has the ability to fight people like this.
Yeah. It's still on Google though, Charmin, so it's not that good.
Yeah, but at least he can sue her, and he can get the charges dropped, and he can get the attention brought to her, and he can sue people and bring civil penalties to people. I support the prosecution of the false accusers because I've been falsely accused. I've had my spouse falsely accused of rapes at the Super Bowl. I've had huge events that have changed my life and changed my perspective on people. And I continue to have people who lie to me to get close to me, to use me and hurt me and try to shut me up so that I don't have the ability to tell my story. And frankly, I need some people with a set of brass balls and the cash to pay for PIs and attorneys, and I'm really happy these guys showed up today.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to be helpful. I think Gunnar could help, that's for sure. I mean, he's got very connected, and yeah, don't worry, Charmin. Everyone loves you. Adam Barta loves you. That's all that matters. We're going to be okay. We're just going to keep speaking our truth, and that's it. We speak our truth, and people come to help us. You know what? Let's just be a little lighthearted for a second. Firefly is back to sing us a song. Thank God you are here. Thank God. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna just give you the platform to sing your song. I know you have a new album coming out. Is that right?
So I have an EP that just released last night it did.
Okay, so everybody enjoy. Here is Firefly.
So this song actually isn't on my EP. But you can find my EP under my name. If you find my name, Firefly Genesis, it's a collaborative EP, but this song is a guitar song. So the song's called Revolving. Let's see if this works. I was up till 6 a.m., so we'll see how this goes. me closely. Let go and never give it up. Even when you're tough, 'cause it was always enough. In the end, it won't take never give it up. Even when you're tough, 'cause it was always enough. In the end, it won't let it fly. Never give it up. Even when you're tough, 'cause it was always enough. In the end, it let it go. Hey, Brain, what's going on? What are your thoughts
Hi.
so far?
I love Mike. This Mike guy. He serves the Italians well. He is not a rat snitch like Gunner, right? Gunner has disgraced his family, Italians, everything, right? He's nothing. Mike has a reason for being upset with him, right? I'm part Italian. You don't fuck with your family, right? It's common sense. This Gunner guy is a sellout. I don't get it. It's been a great show so far. I love the guests. Mike is a top-notch fucking guy. I respect the guy. I believe him. I believe his story, right? I believe Mike's story. I believe he's innocent. I don't believe Charmin's crocodile tears. I'm sorry. She's doing a money grab. And
No, she's not. She's not.
Why cry? Like, what's the point?
Because
Why
maybe
cry?
she's sad.
Okay, join the club. You don't think you think I'm fucking happy? And why doesn't Froggy say anything?
Let
Why
him be
is that?
quiet. He said enough.
Come on, Froggy. I haven't heard his voice. I haven't. So it's a new Froggy. All right, I like it. The show's going great. I love your scarf. You look fantastic. You know, blah blah blah. This Mike guy though was cool. Gunner should not call himself Italian. That's all I'm saying. I think you should bring Shay back as a co-host. Fire Wheezy.
What? Why would I fire
think
Wheezy?
there needs
Wheezy's great. Wheezy is
I
great.
think I know, but
Wheezy, did you hear what Brain just said about you?
Yeah, I did, but I
Come
love
on.
brains, so it's okay.
I know.
You
Look, I'm
love
trying.
Brain?
You know,
He's trying to
do.
get you fired. He's trying to get
It's
you fired.
okay.
I'm trying
Why do you
to.
like him?
You know,
Why do you
It's
like
okay.
him? What do you like about him?
I'm trying to make content.
He's very entertaining. I mean, like, he's one of your best callers, and every single day I'm entertained by Brain. He hates me
you
one
are?
minute, loves me the next minute. I just love him.
I'm like a substandard Andy Dick. Like I'm like a
Well, I
lower
won't go that
class.
far.
You don't think I'm as entertaining as Andy Dick?
No, but you're
Close.
very
You have to-
entertaining. Your beard, if your
thanks.
beard got a little bit longer, maybe.
Do you think I look good? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking. You know.
No, not really. Okay, Kermit and Friends, how can I help you? Yes, hello.
Hi, Elisa. Yes, hi. It's Michael Zuccaro.
Hi, Michael Zuccaro. Thank you for calling in. How's it going?
Good. It's going good. Just great show today, and it's ironic you had a couple of mobsters on.
Yeah.
I'm working on a series called In the Days of the Utica Mob, based on the city I was born in. My dad knew one of the mobsters there, Russ Mancuso, and that's going to be the basis for some of the episodes. But I don't know Hurricane Mike or this Gunner, but I'll tell you, they also did good things in a way. My Uncle Mike, my namesake, was a gambler, and he got in over his head. So Russ had to go to the Falcone brothers, who were the main mobsters in Utica at the time, back in the 50s, and had to say, look, don't break his legs, don't break his arm, So in their own way, the mobsters do protect people at times, from other gangsters.
Yeah, I don't care if they're mobsters, as long as they're Kermitarians, it's fine.
Right. Well, they've all passed on, but as I said, some of these episodes hopefully will be aired, and people will get to learn about the mobsters from Utica, New York.
All right. Thank you for that call, Michael. Appreciate you very much. Are you going to be on the wrap-up show today? Are you going to be watching?
Yeah, I will. I'll check in and see what the other people are saying about the mobsters today.
Okay, great. So, it's more than mobsters. It's about everybody here. We all are a community that are together. We love each other. It's just wonderful. You're truly missing out. I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it. You're truly missing out if you're not part of this community. Please join our Kermit and Friends Discord server, which I'm going to post right now. Click on that, and your life will change. And I promise you, you'll have friends, you'll have enemies, you'll have things to talk about, you'll be creative, and you'll be inspired. I can guarantee it. All right, so please enjoy our guest, our musical guest, Wappy Flanker. I hope that everyone joins the Discord server so they can find Wheezy's wrap-up show starring Charmin and a new co-host. Identity unknown. Don't know who it is, but whoever it is going to be very lucky because anyone that gets to broadcast with Wheezy and Charmin, their life is going up and their life is getting better. And I just want to thank everybody for joining us today. Hurricane Mike and Gunner, Brain, T-Bob, everybody here, because we're just a very big, happy family. Again, please join us in our Discord server. This never stops. You think it stops here? No. We're up all night. We don't get to work on time because we're talking about Kermit and Friends. Thanks, everybody, again, and I'll see you next week.
You know we're gonna have a good time. The spirit's out tonight. You know we're gonna have a good time all night. Take flight, that's right. The desert is a dance floor. All the ghosts and skeletons rise up with their demon friends. They're gonna dance the night away. She's gonna break her bones while the band plays. She came all the way to Vegas from San Francisco just to join the party at the desert disco. Just to break her bones while the band plays. The spirit's out tonight. You know we're gonna have a good time all night. Take flight, that's right. The desert is a dance floor. The desert is a dance floor all night. Take flight, that's right. The desert is a dance floor. All the ghosts and skeletons rise up with their demon friends. They're gonna dance the night away. She's gonna break her bones while the band plays. She came all the way to Vegas from San Francisco just to join the party at the desert disco. Just to break her bones while the band plays.
Andy, you're a little late.
I know. Is the show over? That's the end song.
No, it's not. He has one more song. It's okay. We can keep going.
Well, I just came on to say hi. I overslept because I had to work and stuff. How are you?
I'm doing good. We had a mobster on today. We had another guy.
A mobster? Who?
His name was Gunner, and he told a redemption story of how he was a mobster, and now he writes books that people love, and he was pretty cool. You should watch it.
Is he friends? Is he friends with that guy that I knew?
Probably, yeah. I think all the mobsters know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been. I don't want to say his name, but he's been really weird with me. So I don't. It's almost like we're not friends, I guess. But
yeah, I saw you on Adam Carolla.
How'd you like it?
I liked it.
Did I talk about you? I hope.
No, they asked you who you were dating, and you said a bunch of guys.
Perfect.
So I think you did forget about me, but it's okay.
No, I can never forget about you. I woke up in a panic because of the show, your show.
Oh, that's so nice. I do wish that you met these guests. They were pretty cool, but it's okay. You have enough friends.
It's okay. And then, are you going to do your thing that you normally do? Go to the, should I say where you go?
Yeah, you can say where I go.
The Grove.
Yes, I probably will go to the Grove. I'll probably walk around. I'll take Fozzie with me. And then the most important thing that I do is watch the wrap-up show with Wheezy and Charmin. And Charmin's getting a new co-host. And people are applying to be Charmin's co-host for Wheezy's wrap-up show. And this is really important because that person, whoever gets that role, Andy, is like the luckiest person. They get to hang out with Wheezy. They get to hang out with it's a really good position there.
It's a good gig, huh?
It's a good gig. Yeah.
What I've been doing all morning also, I mean, not all morning, because I did forget about the show for a second. But this is Eric, the guy that made all these arts. And we're like getting it. Remember? This one. Where's the one of me?
Beautiful, Andy. I love that. Andy, just hold on 1 second. I just have a caller. Kermit and Friends, how can I help you?
Hi, it's Sugar. I want to know what Andy's working on.
Okay, that's a great question. I'll ask him that right now.
Okay.
Love you, Sugar. Thanks for the question. That was Sugar. That's a really good friend of mine, Andy. She's wondering what you're working on right now.
What I'm working on?
Yeah.
Well, right now I'm working on hanging up the pictures for him in this. We're turning this. I'm moving out of here. You know that, right?
Where are you moving?
I don't know. Me and you talked about moving in together if we had separate rooms.
That would be nice.
But this art is so fucking good.
People are asking
That's
if the
me.
show.
That's supposed to be me.
So people are asking if the show is over. The reason why it's not over yet is because Wappy has one more song and Andy just came on. So, and also I'm taking a call from Wendy Pack. Yes, Kermit and Friends, how can I help you?
Alicia, why don't you play my clip that I did for Andy Dick?
Where is that clip, Wendy? Do you have it?
It's on my YouTube channel.
Okay, somebody has to send me that as a MP4, and I will make it a special point to play it. Somebody has to email it to me, though, Wendy. But thank you so much, and I love that clip. I know you made Andy look like a piece of broccoli, right?
Yes.
And what do you think of the frog today?
I thought he was cute. I love the frog.
Yes, I'm going to be sending that frog your way, and you'll have a new frog friend.
Thank you, Alicia.
You're welcome. Love you, Wendy.
Love you too.
Okay, that was Wendy. That's a really good friend. That's a really good friend of the show. So we have so many friends here. We're so lucky. Aunt Carol is typing in the chat. Everybody loves Andy.
Baby. What was I going to say? Oh, can I give you the what is it? A website?
Yes, of course.
What is it? Scroll Deep. Scroll Deep. What? Why are you whispering? It doesn't matter. We're talking to you.
Oh, look how cute
So
he is.
what? What's it called? Here, let him tell you his name.
It's Scroll Deep on Instagram. It's scroll_deep on Instagram. This guy is so talented. I want to say the most talented artist I've ever seen.
Thanks for the plug, you guys.
Yeah, you look great. And look at that beautiful artwork. This is Eric's artwork. This is a great friend of Andy. So we want to, promote him. Everybody should follow Eric on Instagram and just in life.
You're so sweet. Thank you
yeah.
so much.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
it's my absolute pleasure. And let's also promote Mike, Hurricane Mike, who has the #1 sports podcast in Boston. How could people find that podcast, Mike?
You can get it on Bad Cat Sport. Go to Bad Cat Sports. We're on Mike Herron's Podcast City. We're on iTunes, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube. Go to Bad Cat Sports Facebook page, Mike Herron's Facebook page. We're everywhere.
Okay, that is great. So Bad Cat Sports.
Yeah, and Mike Herron's. Yeah, and Mike Herron's Podcast City.
Okay, so Mike Herron, everybody contact Mike Herron. to be on your show. So a lot of people that are watching this have their own shows, right? So reach out to Mike
Sure.
and Aaron.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, and that's, we appreciate that, any, type of networking, that's good. But, we got off to a rough start, but I'm glad that people called in to clarifying that what I was saying was actually true. And, one thing, I'm not a mobster. Okay. I'm an entrepreneur. I help people with drug addictions through my family's foundation, the Heron Project. You can look it up every week. We send people to drug treatment for free. I was a rough and tumble guy back in the day, but I never hit anybody with anything other than my fists. So, if that makes me a mobster, then there's a lot of guys out there that are mobsters.
So if we know someone that might need any treatment, could we reach out to that person?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's been people in LA and actors that we've taken care of. If you Google the Heron Project or stuff like that, it's a long list of names. I'm not gonna tell you the names of the people, because obviously, that's something that privacy has to be honored and respected. But we're out there. We've been up for 10 years. They do an amazing job.
Terrific.
It's very, very much out there for Google and to see. And that's just it. But again, I want to clarify.
That's terrific. Okay, so Andy, to anyone watching out there that needs help, that needs some assistance, that could use a break, right? Maybe they need to move out of their apartment. Maybe they need to go somewhere where they can get better and get healthy. Where should they go?
Are you talking about me?
Well, I'm just saying, if I knew someone like that.
And then you put it on me. Well, you do know someone. I always need help, by the way.
Yeah.
I need help cleaning the apartment right now.
All right. Well, you're doing great. So if you had a rough start, if you had any start, the best place to end up is Kermit and Friends. That's where everybody should end up. Watch the wrap-up show. Obviously, get in contact with Weezy and Charmin. And just be a part of our community, because we're here to help. If you want to be involved in the Hurricane Mike Heron project, where they help people get better, that's something that we're here for too. So Andy, I'm going to be connecting you with Mike, and I'm going to be connecting a lot of people with him, because that's what we do here. We help people. So Andy, I don't know if you'd be open to it, but that would be something cool that we can get involved in together.
I love it. Can I just plug andydick.com?
Of course. That's my favorite place to go. andydick.com. Go there, enjoy that. It's a wonderful website. Sometimes it's down, but hopefully you'll get it when it's up, and you can enjoy Andy. And obviously Andy on Cameo is the #1 person. If you want to get a Cameo, if you want somebody to say happy birthday, happy birthday, happy new year, happy anniversary, or just hello, have a great day, Andy is your guy, right, Andy? Yeah, look how sweet. He's adorable. All right, so everybody support everyone here, and we'll see you next week on Kermit and Friends.
Come be the light in the darkest place. I'm shining in outer space. Up above, you see me, yeah, I'm a star they say. Living a dream, yeah, no time to conversate. I speak with the songs I play. Starlight become just like the sun. #1, screaming just because. Spit my tongue just like a loaded gun. I'm having fun, I'll do it. I'm having fun, I'll do it. Just like a loaded gun, can't wait to use it. The way her body's moving to the music. shining in outer space. High up above, you see me, yeah, I'm a star to say. Living a dream, yeah, no time to conversate. I speak with the songs I play.